the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that.
Well, what is up, Titans Nation? Welcome in to the 6-5 and welcome in to the SeatGeek Studios. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at SeatGeek. You can use our code 615podcast. That is 615PODCAST at checkout for $20 off your first order of $50 or more on SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. Titans Nation. The Titans are down bad. But let's go bring our counterpart in here. J Murph.
Victory Monday, baby.
For Titans fans, it is Victory Monday because we moved up not one spot, but two. Thank you, New York Giants.
Shout out to Matty Robinson. I know he's upset. I'm sorry, buddy.
But
it's awesome. It's awesome.
A Titans fan is a patient man because the Titans lose again.
Ain't that the truth?
Presented by SeatGeek and Expedia. You can find our link also
Who's that guy down in the bottom left right there?
Yeah, where is Tyler? Oh, wait. He's taking a hiatus. He will be back on January 6th.
Man's working on his golf swing.
First of the year. But you can find our link for Expedia down in the description. But
That's my tank commander.
It's not Victory Monday, it's Loss Monday. Mason Rudolph edition. Mason Rudolph in a tank.
Our tank commander. Tank for Shador. Or whoever you want.
Tank. No, not Shador.
We'll argue about it later.
But jumping into team stats.
Run through these stats. No, nobody cares about these stats. Run through these stats and let's talk about Shador Sanders. Oh, hurry
up. Very fastly run through stats. Mason Rudolph, 19 of 31. 193, one touchdown, one pick, sacked 3 times for 15. Tajay Spears, who left the game, 20 carries, 95 yards. Mason Rudolph, 5 for 23. Chig, 1 for 17. Julius Chestnut, 3 for 17. Calvin Ridley, 1 for 7. In the receiving game, Calvin Ridley, 5 for 84. Chig, 5 for 42. NWY, 3 for 37. Tyler Boyd, 2 for 17. Or 2 for 14. Nick Bennett, 1 for 8 and the touchdown. Tajay Spears, 3 for 8. And Josh Wiley and Julius Chestnut, 0 catches, 1 target, and 0 yards. Mason Rudolph for the fumble, Tajay Spears, but they were recovered by Calvin Ridley and J.C. Latham. Luke Gifford led the way with 8 tackles, 5 of them solo. Jerome Baker, 6 tackles for 3 solo. He also had the loans. He also had 1 of the 2 sacks. The other one was James Lynch with the other sack. Devondre Sweat, 3 tackles, 1 solo. Cheeto, 3 tackles, 2 solo. On special teams, Julius Chestnut, 3 for 67. 22.3 yards per return with a long of 24. Mason Kinsey, 1 for 9. Matthew Wright, who the Titans actually waived today, or released today.
He did way better than Norvison.
2 for 2 with a long of 39 and had 1 extra point. Ryan Stonehouse, 3 for 149, 1 touchback, 1 inside the 20. Then you head to Jacksonville. I'm going to go through these just as fast. Mac Jones, 15 for 22, 174, and 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 15 for 49. Tank Bigsby, 11 for 33. Mac Jones, 6 for 22. Brian Thomas Jr., 1 for 18. But then you get to the receiving side for Brian Thomas Jr., who I just had a pop up. Hang on just 1 second. I will
The
be.
dude's nuts. Brian Thomas Jr. is the
7
next
for
dude.
91 and a touchdown. Parker Washington, 3 for 31 and a touchdown. Travis Etienne, 1 for 26. Tim Jones, 1 for 11. Dearness Johnson, 2 for 11. Devin Duvernay, 1 for 4. Devin Lloyd with a long interception, 1 for 3. Andre Sisk, 8 total tackles, 6 of them solo.
Josh Hines Allen tore us up there towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Dude really messed us up.
Josh Hines Allen, 6 total tackles, 3 of them solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. You have Mason Smith with a sack, and you have
Walker
with a sack. Devin Duvernay, 2 returns, 62 yards, long of 32, averaging 31 yards per return. Same thing in the punt, 1 for 9. Just like Mason Kinsey. Cam Little, 2 for 2, long of 48. And there was also 2 for 2 on extra point. Logan Cook, 3 for 130, 1 touchback, or 1 down inside the 20. Averaging 43.3 yards and a long of 48. But then we head to our favorite segment of the night, Good, Bad, Ugly, presented by Expedia. The only good thing I came out of this game was our draft position.
One other thing that came out of this game, and I forgot about it because it was buried and everything, but Tajay Spears, dude. That was his first 100-yard game before he took that hit for a loss.
Bad coaching, like it has all year.
I think that was on purpose this time. Or that's what I would say.
And then the ugly offense. Offense has been ugly all year.
Agreed. It's been horrible.
And then top 5 games from around the NFL in week 17. Denver at Cincy.
Called it.
Josh and I are 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0, baby.
TK 0-1.
Oh, I don't have my board. I would keep track. All right.
Josh and I were both 2-0.
2-0.
TK's 1-1.
I beat you guys this week, by the way. I already know it.
Green Bay. Who won that game? Minnesota. So
3-0, baby.
2-1, 1-2. I'm 2-1. TK's 1-2.
I'm 3-0.
Tampa Bay
4-0, baby.
3-1 and 3-1 and 2-2.
2-2. He's 500.
And then
and I called that one too.
so you swept it. 5-0. I went 4-1, and TK went 2-3.
Never happen again. What happened? Thank you so very much. I know. I was born with it. You think my dad. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not married. Got 2 kids.
Unfortunately. What are you talking about?
Watch later. So anyway, my wife caught on. You can't tell anybody.
But so it looks like the Titans are playing both Will Levis and Mason Rudolph against Houston. What kind of sense does that make?
That makes no sense to me. I don't know what you're trying to do other than give like worst moments of 2024 a rerun, but
Brian Callahan said in his presser, he said, "I'll let you know by the end of the week who's the starter. But I
Who
think
cares?
both guys should play some football at the end of the year."
who cares?
But the one thing I did want to talk about, this is dealing with Callahan again. How does Callahan's record in his first season compare to the other Titans head coaches? Jeff Fisher in 1995 went 7-9, missed the playoffs. His point differential was plus 24. 2011, Mike Munchak, 9-7, missed the playoffs. Point differential plus 8. The worst head coach in Titans history, 2014, Ken Wisenhunt, 10 years basically to the date. 2-4, missed the playoffs. Duh. Point differential of minus 184.
Horrible.
2016, Mike Mularkey, 9-7, missed the playoffs. Point differential of plus 3. 2018, Mike Vrabel, 9-7, missed the playoffs. Point differential of plus 7. 2024, Brian Callahan. As of right now, the Titans are 3-13. They're missing the playoffs and have a point differential of minus 133.
50 points and we can get there. 51 points and we can get there.
But so
awful, dude.
The notes. This is the notes for this. Records are based on first full season in charge. I know these teams and situations are not equal. This is a surface level look at each head coach's first year, full stop. Changed Jeff Fisher's first year to 1995 because people kept complaining that I had 1999 instead. And this is from, I want to say, Wes Wisely. I'm here if you change your.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't know, man. Do you remember watching those Wisenhunt days? How bad?
God.
I'll be honest with you. I blocked that. I remember sitting in my truck listening to games because I chose to go to work instead of call out or take the day off.
The funny thing is, my first Titans game was the last home game of the Jeff Fisher era.
The Jets. Oh, okay.
It was Houston.
That would have been
2010.
That was 10. Wow.
2010, 2011 time frame.
I never thought they'd fire him. That was crazy for me as a Titans fan growing up when they fired Jeff Fisher.
So I put 2 polls out, both of them within the last 24 hours. Based off of what you've seen, is Brian Callahan the head coach in Tennessee next year? And these results are based off 83 votes.
The guy's too confident. The guy's too confident that he'll be back.
Between Instagram and Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. The results on Twitter were 50-50. 50 yes, 50 no. But then Instagram's a little different. 55% said no, Brian Callahan will not be the head coach in Tennessee next year. 45% said yes, he will be. Now, Josh, where are you at on this?
I mean, he's coming back. I don't think it has anything to do with his record. They collaborated. They wanted this tank job done. Just like they didn't want to tell you that they were in a rebuild. They wanted to tell you they were in a reload.
Or retool.
Whatever it was, it doesn't matter. We know what it is.
All the reports we've been seeing all week. Oh, yeah, Brian Callahan's be back next year. We heard the same crap last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. We did. No, we didn't. You talking about with Vrabel?
We were hearing the last month of the season. Yeah, Vrabel's be back.
I never got the. I wasn't
shocked. It's the same thing we heard with Mularkey. It's the same thing we heard with Mularkey.
Have you heard about that story with Mularkey?
that he called, who was it, Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter? And he told him it was literally 24 hours before he got fired. Hey, I'm getting an extension.
What a troll job. And he knew it. He knew he was getting fired too the next day. I love Mike Mularkey, man. We did him dirty.
What we're hearing is the same thing we heard with Mularkey. That, Mularkey's will be back next year. And this was like 6 weeks left in the season. We see what happened there.
Well,
I'm gonna look at this from that vantage point. I don't think Callahan will be back next year. I don't. Because he's supposed to be this offensive mastermind. The offenses look like dog crap this year.
The offense improved. The offense improved under Callahan.
It looks the same to me.
Yeah, well, on paper, he improved. He can go to Amy Adams and he can go, hey, look, this is what we did.
But this is where Josh was wanting to get with the draft.
Are we covering Houston today? We didn't get along pre-show, so I didn't get to ask that. Are we covering?
No, we're not. We're not hitting. We're hitting Houston on Thursday.
We can officially announce that there will be a second show this week since Tyler is on hiatus. We can do the second show together. So we will do
on Thursday. I'm thinking probably the same time on Thursday.
Wonderful.
So updated first round draft order. This is pre-Monday Night Football, which is going now. But I want to go back to this tweet from Terry McCormick.
Oh, this is Fantasy Sunday. Hold on. When you're done with this, come back to me.
I agree with this. I don't think the Titans draft a quarterback this year. And I agree we have too many holes. We have to fix as many holes as possible before getting that quarterback. Because if you get that quarterback now, he will struggle. Because there's so many holes. Look at that right side of the offensive line. You play 2 tackles on Sunday. John Ojukwu and Jalen Duncan. John Ojukwu and Jalen Duncan. Both of them, and I told Josh this. Jalen Duncan looked like Dennis Daly.
On the right side.
And you could throw Andre Dillard right there too.
I had high hopes for that dude. That was disappointing.
But
shout out to my guy Tay. It was a long
hey.
But looks like your boy is going to be champion.
Who, you?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to Matt? Did Matt get beat?
Different leagues. I run a dynasty league and I run a keeper league. And so that was my keeper league, which is the second year we've done the keeper league. Matt won for the 3rd year in a row.
Oh, God.
We have had the league for 3 years.
And he's won all 3 years.
Shout out to my boy Tyler. He's also terrible.
Well, I'm going to say this.
Outscored Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to say this. Because I'll be in your league next year.
Okay. Which one? Keeper or the dynasty?
Dynasty.
It'll be harder to get you in the dynasty. We'll talk about it later. I think you'll have more fun in the keeper, to be honest. It has a defensive player in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. I run Robert Spillane every week. The dude goes nuts.
But I think, who is it? You and somebody else, y'all would jump in my league next year.
I'm down. Let's do it. You're an agent of chaos, though. You like to play your championship game in week 18.
Oh, yeah. They call me the chaos coordinator for nothing.
I hate it. I can't do it, man. Like, I'm going to go nuts if I'm...
But, so I have 2 different draft orders. The post-Titans game and the post-Giants game.
Right on.
So before we played this game, we were at 4.
There was so much chaos trying to figure this out in my brain.
We were at 4 before the end of this game. Jacksonville was 3. Jacksonville fell from 3 to 6. We climbed from 4 to 3 after we lost to Jacksonville. But thank you, New York Giants. They went from 1 to 4. Jacksonville climbed to 5 from 6.
Chicago just hovering around in there.
They fell from 7 to 9.
How odd. What happened? Who filled in there?
The Raiders fell from 5 to 7 or 5 to 8.
Yeah, but who climbed up for Chicago to go down
And
to?
Giants or the Jets moved from 9 to 7.
Carolina. That doesn't make sense. Oh, the strength of schedule changed. Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And then after that Giants game, New England went from 2 to 1. We went from 3 to 2. Browns went from 4 to 3. I'm like, okay. So you have 4 teams tied for that number 1 pick. We were a half game out. But we lose this week. We're locked in right there too, in my opinion. But Josh being Josh, he wants to become the agent chaos of the draft right here. Do we stay at 2 or we trade out?
You want to win next year or not?
I think it's going to take multiple years to build this thing.
Well, this would be year 3 for Rand Carthon.
But I'm talking about after this season. I think we're at least 2 years away from having this thing fully rolling.
And by that, you mean a playoff berth or you mean an AFC championship appearance?
I think playoff berth. I think we're at least 2 or 3 years out.
Is that because you don't believe Callahan has the capability to coach these players to a playoff appearance?
I think he does. I think he does, but I don't think we have the right tools on the field.
Okay, well then, what do you think Callahan needs in order to put that team in that position in 2 years?
Well, the way I look at it is, and you and I had me and you talked about it. I think you hit free agency like crazy. Go out and get a guy like Justin Fields to come in here, possibly have a chance to start. And this is all going back to what Terry McCormick said. Go out, get that bridge quarterback to come in and compete with Levis.
Who? Justin Fields or Rodgers? Okay.
Fields.
Fields is at a stage in his career. He may, what's he, 26 now? He may want a long-term deal with a team.
Well, if you want to go older, go Cousins.
By the way, my wife heard my response to that commenter, and now she's mean mugging me as she walks by and handing me drinks. Like,
I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is.
I don't know either.
So it was a little weird. I'm like,
but anyway, so Justin Fields is your ideal in that scenario.
Either him or if you just want like a 1 or 2 year bridge, go get like a guy like Kirk Cousins.
So I'm going to go totally different on you. And a lot of people are going to go, oh, he's washed, but go get the experience and the natural arm talent of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
With a guy like Callahan, because I mean, he was with Manning. I mean, I think he could coach a Rodgers for sure.
Oh yeah. Like he's been with Manning, he's been with Stafford, he's been with Derek Carr.
I was going to say he's been with several guys that were very high end for at least that season.
And I would not mind going and getting Derek Carr.
Yeah, you lost me there.
Because he's worked with Callahan. Callahan knows how to work with him.
I feel like my justification for bringing Rodgers into that scenario is Rodgers then is a mentor to the guy behind him and brings him along. I don't care what Derek Carr has to teach anybody.
Yeah. Like, I would not be against Aaron Rodgers, but I think he retires after this year.
He should. He probably should hang it up. I think he's got more left to give, but I think he should. He had a 1.8 passer rating.
That's hot dog water, in my opinion.
Awful. You know, he pulled himself out of that game.
Yeah, in like the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when they were down.
He pulled a Cam Ward. He pulled a Cam Ward.
No, he walked up and he goes, "We're down 33-0. You think we should go with Tyrod here on this one. And he said on the next play they threw a screen pass and went up 40-0. So he's just like, whatever.
But draft wise, I think you trade back.
Okay, so if you trade back and you get a guy like Justin Fields, what do you take?
I think you go get speed.
Okay. Who are you trading with? Because you got sitting at 8 would be the Giants.
Let me pull
sitting at 10.
Let me pull this back up.
The Saints, who need quarterbacks. Probably 9. The Jets also need a quarterback. If this stays the same, if nothing changes.
So if nothing changes, let's go from 7. Let's go from 7 to 12.
Yeah. Okay.
Carolina don't need a quarterback.
Okay, there's a question. How far back are you willing to go to also get the talent you need? Do you think you can get a talent at 15, or well, let's be realistic.
I wouldn't go 15. I would not go 15.
Okay.
I would go between 8 and probably 12 or 13.
Okay, so Vegas calls you and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you 2 firsts and 2 seconds to move up and take your second or your second overall pick."
So what was the deal? 2 firsts and what?
2 firsts and 2 seconds, which is essentially, I think that's the Jared Goff deal. When the Titans moved up for Goff, it was 2 firsts and 2 seconds, wasn't it?
I would actually take a little bit less than that. I would go 2 firsts and a third.
To drop back 8 slots and miss your franchise quarterback?
That'd move back 6 spots because they're 8 right now.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Yep. But even still, I mean, moving back 6 slots, who do you take a quarterback at that point?
I don't take quarterback.
Okay. What do you take? Ashton Genty at 8?
I would take Genty at 8 because he's been projected anywhere between 8 and 13.
So we can run anywhere we want. We just can't throw the ball. I see your vision. We're going back to 1946. You're going to whip out some leather helmets.
The reason I want to go Genty right there is because I told you this. You could do the same thing. You could use him how San Francisco did with Debo.
Who was throwing the ball to Debo when he was lining up in the slot like that?
Brock. Or Garoppolo.
We probably could get a guy in the 7th round. You're right. Those guys are there pretty often.
Riley Leonard, maybe.
maybe.
Or if Carson Beck falls that far.
Yeah, well, if Carson Beck falls. Meteoric.
That injury could cause him to slide.
I don't think he's going to go undrafted or the 7th round.
I wouldn't say undrafted. I'd probably say middle of day 3. Like Sam Howell did.
So who are some young guys at quarterback? And we need to look this up for our Monday edition of this show. We'll be back next Monday covering draft stuff, by the way.
Because season's over after next week.
Right. We'll probably cover the game, and then I imagine we'd spend the majority of the second half of the show covering just draft.
Looking at players, looking at free agency.
Okay. So what you and I need to look at are young quarterbacks going into their 2nd or 3rd year as a pro that are going to be free agents, like the Stetson Bennett's of the world. That
I would look there, or I would even look into like the XF or UFL. Max Duggan,
yeah,
former TCU quarterback.
I don't know that it's going to be a few years before we start to see to bear fruit from that.
That league.
Yeah. But I think I'm excited for what that could possibly be too.
Yeah. But like I would look at like a guy like a Stetson Bennett.
Sure. Oh, me too. I think there's a lot of potential there. Then it been being a McVay offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that he's available. I have no idea what his situation is, but that was just the example that came to mind.
But
you're right, Sam Howell. I love Sam Howell. I don't know.
And he went, I want to say 5th or 6th round.
He did. Yeah. Out of, where was he at?
UNC.
Oh, yeah. North Carolina. Okay. Who's that?
But if I did go quarterback in like the 2nd or 3rd, which would probably drive Titans at the wall, my number one guy right now is Dylan Gabriel outside of Shador and Ward.
Dylan Gabriel may not be there, dude. I think when you get to the combine, you're going to realize Dylan Gabriel's got a higher draft stock than you think he does.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be, because like the last like 4 years, we've had like two dudes come out of nowhere, and like 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. Everybody's talking
Like
about
Anthony Richardson,
Yeah. Who cared about AR-15 before he launched that thing into Mars? I'm surprised Joe Mixon didn't. Not Joe Mixon, Tennessee quarterback. He's in New England right now.
Joe Milton.
Joe Milton. I'm surprised Joe Milton didn't climb up more boards with the physical attributes he had.
Well, you saw what Detroit did this week, and
with Teddy,
brought him out of retirement, signed him.
Hey, that is a state championship winning head coach right there.
Yes.
You better put some respect on his name, okay?
But if I had to go anywhere, I would not go Teddy. I'd go Hendon Hooker.
He just made Tennessee fans everywhere have really tight pants. We'll put it that
way. Either him or I would trade something late and go get Joe Milton from New England.
I wouldn't do that. I don't think he's a pro quarterback. I think he's a backup, but he's got all the skills. But Hendon Hooker, the
dude looked like a freaking Pro Bowler in preseason.
Well, the point of being an NFL backup quarterback is that you can go in and win 2 or 3 games. You know, you're not going to win a whole season's worth of games. Take them on a deep playoff run. So there. But Hendon Hooker was always. I mean, he had that really bad injury coming out of college, and then
that ACL.
You're never going to pass Jared Goff on that depth chart as long as Jared Goff's playing the way he's playing. And
yeah,
I liked Hooker. I mean, he obviously had a wonderful year that year. I'd love to see what Hooker could do, especially with Callahan. It'd be pretty good.
But then I meant to change this. It's a full mock draft, first round mock draft. They have Travis Hunter to New England at 1. I could see that.
I couldn't. I can't see that. They're going to trade that pick. So there's a quarterback going with the first overall pick. If the
Shedeur to Tennessee at 2. Cam Ward to Cleveland at 3.
And that's not happening. Yeah, I don't get that one because they just restructured Deshaun Watson. Why would you do that? Because you just kick the can down the road. You have to pay that money. That when you restructure it, it just moves it off the book for that year.
Will Johnson, the corner out of Michigan to New York at 4.
That's what they need.
Giants at 4.
That's what they need. Go get your cornerback. Shout out
Mason Graham, defensive lineman out of Michigan to Jacksonville at 5.
Michigan at 4. Who made this mock draft? Where'd you pull this from?
Tankathon.
Okay.
Number 6 at 6, Carolina. Takes your guy Abdul Carter.
They want Julius Peppers again so bad. They want that so bad for Carolina.
Everybody has him comped as like a Micah Parsons.
He's not going to be Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is 1 of 1, but I would take him. I mean, I would love to find out for myself.
Number 7, the Jets take Michael Williams out of Georgia.
I don't trust Georgia linebackers, so I don't care.
McMillan, the wide receiver, to Vegas at 8.
They need a number 1. I mean, they don't really have anybody besides Brock Bowers,
who broke Mike Ditka's receiving yards record.
He is now 1 of 1 as well. Congratulations, Brock Bowers. That was a guy I wouldn't have. I would have been just fine if we'd have gotten him last year and was talking like we were going to get him last year. Like that would have been fine with me.
Bears go offensive tackle or interior offensive line, whichever one you want to play him. Will Campbell out of LSU.
The Bears.
You have your franchise quarterback.
They're not going to win another game.
Yeah. At 10, Malachi Stark, safety from Georgia to New Orleans.
That wouldn't be bad. Keep him in the South.
Kelvin Banks to the Bay.
The rich get richer.
11.
That's the best left tackle situation in the league, and you're just going to throw another perceived generational talent at left tackle at the 49ers.
Linebacker or edge rusher, Jalen Walker to Indy at 12 out of Georgia.
That feels like a pick the Colts would make, yeah.
At 13 to Dallas, Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State.
This fits Jerry Jones's persona because he always goes for the flashy name. And I think that's why so many people have him going to Dallas like this. Even though Rico Dowdle had a hell of a year.
Oh, the dude's a 1,000-yard rusher, I think.
He is, and I think he was like 4 years pro, and he was like on the back end of that depth chart for a long time. I was really surprised. You don't see that very often.
14 to Arizona, James Pierce Jr., edge rusher out of Tennessee.
He's a dog.
Dolphins at 15, Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman out of Michigan.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that for them.
Cincinnati at 16, Nick Scorton, edge rusher, Texas A&M.
That guy's trash.
Atlanta at 17.
I can't believe he didn't defend his honor.
The dude didn't even play in the bowl game.
How did he not?
Both him, or all three, him and both Shamars opted out.
So you're going to hear my opinions change a lot over the next several weeks because I'm going to start beginning my scouting process. But I just, from what I saw, was never really big on Nick Scorton when you brought him up the first time.
Atlanta at 17, Siobhan Ravel Jr., corner out of ECU.
Okay.
Not him. Ursary, offensive tackle out of Minnesota to the Pacific Northwest, Seattle Seahawks at 18.
That guy should have been a quarterback just so they could have called him Air Ursary. Or a receiver.
Houston Texans at 19, Walter Nolan, defensive lineman, Ole Miss. Denver at 20, Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay.
You're gonna hear me be quiet because the back end of this is gonna change so much. I'm just gonna let you run through it real fast. I'm just gonna
Tampa Bay at 21, Benjamin Morrison, corner from Notre Dame. Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State to the Chargers at 22. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State to the Rams at 23. Shamar Stewart, that's actually a defensive lineman out of Texas A&M to the Washington Commanders at 24. Luther Burden, LB3, wide receiver, Missouri to Pittsburgh at 25. Tyler Booker, interior offensive lineman out of Alabama at 26. Amika Egbuka, wide receiver, Ohio State to Green Bay at 27. Landon Jackson, edge rusher, Arkansas to Philly at 28. Derek Harmon, defensive lineman out of Oregon to Buffalo at 29. Isaiah Bond, wide receiver to Detroit at 30. Tyleek Williams, defensive lineman, Ohio State to Minnesota at 31. Cameron Williams, offensive tackle, Texas to Kansas City at 32.
The Kansas City, Minnesota Super Bowl would be wild.
I'd rather have a Detroit, Kansas City Super Bowl.
Oh, I would absolutely no. Detroit's America's favorite team right now. I'm just saying, like, based on that draft order, that's what you had. That's what it has. I know it's based on record, but
yeah.
But still, that's really funny.
So the whole Shador argument, and Tyler, or you and Tyler, both saw the I don't want to say argument that happened on Facebook.
Oh yeah, if you can call
between me and Shador lover, is what I'm gonna start calling him. Me basically saying the Shador is not it for Tennessee, and that's my honest to God opinion.
Yeah, what was the comparison you made?
I compared him to Jake Locker and Will Levis.
I don't know how in the holy matrimony you could make such a marriage, but okay.
The reason why I went Jake Locker is the whole injury thing with Shador. He'll come in for a few plays, he's gone. Come back for a few more plays, he's gone. It's inconsistent at best. The Will Levis thing, though, the dude looks like a freaking statue.
I thought he had pretty good pocket movement myself. I felt like Cam Ward went a little off. We'll get into this in weeks to come, but
Yeah.
Just based off the eye test of what I saw when I watched both of them play. And again, I watched Cam Ward play UCLA, I think it was in California, and I wasn't super impressed. And then I watched Shador play some nobody school back in like week 6 or something, and I thought he looked pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I look forward to us having these conversations in a couple of weeks when I have a little bit more to offer. But I don't know why you don't like Shador. It doesn't make sense to me.
For me, it's based on his play.
So you want Cam Ward?
I would rather have Cam Ward over Shador.
Well, Cam Ward leads college football in QBR, so I'll give you that.
Passing
Shador
yards.
Sanders and Shador Sanders. Well, QBR. He's got it in QBR. And then Shador's 21st. I don't have passing yards on here.
Because Cam Ward just broke Case Keenum's college passing yards record.
So I forgot Case Keenum was really good in college. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he broke his Cam Ward broke his Houston passing yards record.
I don't know why this doesn't have Case Keenum, Vikings legend Case Keenum.
Viking legend, Viking killer.
That's the only. So he didn't kill the Vikings. Case Keenum, did he kill the Vikings? No, he was quarterback for the Vikings.
I think
the year that they had the miracle in the Minneapolis Miracle.
No, that was Cousins.
Dude, no, I swear it was Case Keenum and it was Stephon Diggs.
Who was the quarterback for the Minneapolis Miracle?
It had to be Keenum.
Holy crap.
Did I get it?
How?
6-0, baby. That was the year they had Nick Foles, they had Case Keenum, they had Tom Brady, and then I think it was Blake Bortles. And the Blake Bortles was in the AFC Championship. It was a weird year, dude. It was so weird. But they beat New Orleans and Minneapolis that year.
To get to Philly.
Just so that Nick, I can't call him his nickname on here, but just so Nick Foles could get to the Super Bowl and show up.
Old man Nick. Old man Nick.
Yeah, that's sure. Yeah, that's the nickname. Sure.
Well, I don't think there's anything else to add to this.
No, I think that's where
I think we have hit almost every single nail on the head.
Oh, no. Who are you taking? So you're trading back and taking Genty?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm staying and probably taking Shador.
Shador at 2.
If I move back, I'm taking Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
But
if he's there. If he's there.
Yeah, and that would be the only reason I'd do it.
So who are your top 3? I know Shador.
Shador only because of the position. I mean, Coach Mack say this. There's the quarterback draft, then there's everything else. So at the top of the draft, I take a quarterback. If you're 1-2, you take a prime position, you take a quarterback. Now, if I'm anywhere else, my top 3 is Abdul Carter, McMillan, and Genty. Those are my 3 that I would take.
Yeah. Well, Titans fans, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Stay classy and tighten up.
Tighten up! Let's get tightened up! Tightened up! I've been scoping from the sideline, waiting for the right time to send the freshest team to scrimmage, so I'm busting y'all. Welcome to Nashville. We got this here. Don't worry about it. We got this here. Music City, so out here loud and clear. Don't worry about it. See, we got this here. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go